Do you love Jerry Jones?
Nah,
So
not so much.
Jerry Jones is expected to name Jason Garrett the interim head coach of the Cowboys, the head coach. And this is a little story that is really not a story, but Jerry Jones doesn't make any sense, right? And he's the general manager of the Cowboys also.
Disaster.
So we have this quote from Jerry Jones as he's talking about answering a reporter's question about whether other teams have contacted Jason Garrett, who was a very successful, well-regarded offensive coordinator for the Cowboys, and about whether other teams have come to him to maybe be their head coach or offensive coordinator. So Jerry Jones says, no, there's a process there. And he says, just to talk to anybody that is with another club, there's a form you have to fill out, a procedure you have to go through, and then I visit directly with the owners of that team, and then usually visit with the general manager if they're different. Jerry, they're all different. You're the only owner who's also the GM.
That's his way of like subtly bragging.
Totally, yeah.
Dude, you own the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Let it go. Okay. What more do you need? But it goes to his psychosis. I mean, he busted up the one of the greatest teams ever, the Cowboys in the 90s, because he wanted to do it on his own. He wanted to prove that he could win without Jimmy Johnson. There was no need for that. They could have won, I think, several more championships if he kept Jimmy Johnson. So, and you know what? He won once with Barry Switzer, basically just because Jimmy Johnson had built such a great team that it just coasted into another championship, and then it blew up.
I don't really buy that. I think that Jerry Jones, I think it's ridiculous for an owner who didn't come up as a football executive or a coach or a player to presume that he could be the general manager.
I actually have a different take on that, but go ahead. Finish.
In general,
right?
I think an owner can do that if they've got the background for it. And Jerry Jones played. It's not like he never played football. I don't hate that about Jerry Jones, but I don't think he screwed up. Those Cowboys were getting older, and I think they were coming to an end of a road.
But Ben, look, let's
anyway,
just, real quick.
And I think that Barry Switzer gets dissed every time somebody wins with another team. That coach is always ignored as being.
No, but Switzer is a grade A clown, man. He destroyed that team, the next year, right? And he was on his way to destroying it. It's just, if it was like an 18-game season instead of a 16-game season, they might not have won. Okay, I mean, it was a ticking time bomb, if you ask me. I mean, and it's not just based on the results. I mean, you watch the games, you could see him clowning the games. Okay, look, my point is, if they had kept Jimmy Johnson, would they have had a better chance at winning a couple more championships? I think you almost indisputably have to say yes.
Jimmy Johnson's a great coach. I don't doubt that. Jimmy Johnson, in the years afterwards, had no success, no significant success.
Less success, didn't have the talent that he had built with the Cowboys, et cetera, et cetera. No,
true.
I get that, right. So look, my whole point is, it's so hard to build such a great team, right?
Yes.
So take advantage of it. Don't bust it up for your ego. Do you see what I'm saying? Ride it for as long as you can.
They rode it. They did very well. They got 3 Super Bowls there in 4 years. It's hard to extend it past that. How many more years did Aikman play?
Yeah, I don't remember that. That's a good question.
I just mean it was coming. It was toward the end. Maybe they lost a Super Bowl out of it, or at least a competitive team for a Super Bowl.
Right.
But here they are. Like, for whatever your criticism of Jerry Jones's talent evaluation, the Cowboys, everyone in football acknowledges, and I don't think you and I are in a position to sit there and disagree with that. They had a disastrous year, and they've had a series of coaches who obviously reflect the fact that nobody really wants to come work for Jerry Jones, the owner, and Jerry Jones, the general manager. The Dave Campo and the Chan Galeys and the Wade Phillips as the head coaches. But the fact of the matter is, going into this season, almost to a man, personnel people in football thought the Cowboys were one of the 5 most talented teams in the league. So you can fault Jerry Jones for not having the right coaches to take advantage of that, but he did get an enormously talented team.
To me, that proves both my points. So what I was going to tell you before is, hey, the owner shouldn't be the general manager, is the general consensus, right? But I don't agree with that. Because if I buy a team, what the hell did I spend hundreds of millions of dollars for? I want to be the GM.